As you all know that my name is Sheikh Parveen. YouTube videos you have seen, correct? YouTube videos of mine you have seen. So today we are going to have a history class, and I just wanted to give you a revision. Okay, whatever or what chapter is going to come in our series 2. For that I am going to give you a revision today. Okay, so anybody is over here who remember what is going to come in your series 2? Because I think on our Zoom online sessions I have clearly given you the topics which is going to come in series 2, and we have a revision also. Okay, but as if today we are having a very first class, so I just wanted to have an introduction class. Whatever you don't understand on YouTube sessions or on Zoom online sessions, those things or those topics you can ask me, okay? Or I ask you questions what you understand. So it is better that I'll ask you questions, so that I'll also understand that what you understand by my teaching. Okay? So today we are having a revision session for history. And everyone, I want everyone to be very silent. Yes, second last bench. Please be very silent and pay your attention totally over here. Okay? Okay, so I have given you a revision for first chapter. First chapter revision we have completed, and that first chapter of yours have come in series 1 also. Now we are going to take a series 2 chapter, that is chapter number 2, Nationalism in India. Okay everyone, so before starting with nationalism in India, I just wanted to ask you some questions to you all. Just close your textbooks everyone. I don't want anyone to have open textbooks. If anything is there, I'll tell you to open the textbook. Till then everyone, your textbooks needs to be closed. Your textbooks needs to be closed. Okay? Okay everyone? Okay. So over here, we are going to take the revision for nationalism in India. Before starting with the revision, I just wanted to ask you, or if you wanted to give an answer, just please raise your hand, okay? So I just wanted to ask you, what do you understand with this particular topic which says nationalism in India? Okay, last bench. Yes. Yes, what's your name? Okay. Okay, tell me what do you understand with this particular, with the name of this particular topic which says nationalism in India? What do you understand? And as if we are having a YouTube class also, so I hope you have understood something about that particular topic. So what do you have understand? Okay, tell me what is nationalism? Bolo? Tell me beta, I am not going to hit you. Tell me what is nationalism according to you. Just don't give me what is there in the textbook. Just tell me what is nationalism according to you. What do you think? You give me your own opinion. Tell me what is nationalism. Okay, someone else who can say what is nationalism over here? Yes?
It's a strong feeling toward our country.
Okay, you can say that. Very good. You can say it's a strong feeling of belongingness towards one's country. Okay, like we are Indians, we live in India. Sit down. Thank you. Sit down. As if we live in India, so we have a strong collectiveness or strong belongingness to our country. Okay, belongingness means we love our country, we respect our country, we feel proud that we are a part of that particular country which we live in. Okay, that is called as nationalism. Okay, now when we talk about nationalism, where this word come from? When we talk about nationalism, this word comes when Britishers are ruling upon us. Okay, Britishers ruled upon us over 150 years. Over 150 years they ruled upon us, and when Britishers ruled upon us, on that time when we are struggling for freedom, or when we are struggling with the edges of Britishers, on that time we introduced our leaders, our great leaders introduced that concept of nationalism to make people believe in collective belongingness, to make people believe in unity. Okay, and with that unity and with that spirit of nationalism, we fought for the freedom of our country. We fought for freedom of ourselves. Understand? So that is the topic, nationalism. And nationalism in India, in this particular chapter, we are going to learn that what happens, how Britishers came to India, how they captured India, how they ruled upon India, and what are the different events or what are the different you can say movements are there which contributed towards the freedom struggle, which contributed towards the freedom which we got today. Understand? So in this particular chapter we are going to learn about all these events and all those things. Now before starting with those events, first we need to understand that how Britishers came to India and how they captured India. Can anybody over here tell me how Britishers came, and first of all, for what purpose Britishers came to India? For what purpose? For trading purposes, correct? For trading purposes, Britishers came to India. Not only Britishers, many other European nations also came to India, like France, Portuguese, Dutch, okay, and Britishers, or England you can say. These 4 to 5 Western countries, they came to India for the purpose of trade. Now, why they came to India for the purpose of trade? As such, there is a history behind that, which is not there in your textbook, but I am giving you a small summary of that. See, in 18th century, between 17th to 18th century, we have an industrial revolution. And England is a mother of industrial revolution, because industrial revolution started in England. Now, what is industrial revolution? Industrial revolution means there is an introduction of machines for the first time in the process of production. Because first of all, in the whole world, when production was there, it is a labor-intensive technique production. Labor-intensive technique production means labor has been used to produce commodities. Okay? But after industrial revolution, machines have been invented to produce commodities. Or as such, machines have been invented, production got increased. Because when you compare labor and machines, machines can work more than labor, correct? Physical effort, when we talk about the physical effort, physically laborers or physically human beings have a less capacity to work than machines. So because of the introduction of machines, or because of the industrial revolution in England, and that industrial revolution spread in the whole European countries or whole Western countries you can say. Okay, and by taking the advantages of industrial revolution, they increase their level of production. But European countries does not have raw materials to produce more, and they also does not have a market to sell their commodities. So in search of new market or in search of raw materials to increase the level of production, they attracted towards the Asian countries. Okay, European countries, they attracted towards the Asian countries, and when they attracted towards the Asian countries, over here you can say that they attracted towards the South Africa. Okay, then they attracted towards the India and China. Okay, these are the countries for which they attracted towards. And when we talk about India, on that time India is very rich in natural resources. Okay, and according to the population also, we have a very wide market, so that they can sell their commodities. So at the very first stage, they came to India for the purpose of trade. But when they came to India, when Britishers, especially Britishers, French people are there, Portuguese people are there, Dutch people are there. Okay, when they came to India, their pure purpose is to have a new market, to have an economic benefit, to use the natural resources and market of India or other Asian countries. So when Britishers came to India, slowly they have seen that in India there is a political instability, because on that time we are having conflict between our kings, our rulers. On that time we are having kingship, and those kings are having a conflict between each other. Like on that time Marathas and Mughal emperors are having a conflict with each other. In between we also have Nawabs. Okay, so we are having three kinds of rulers. Nawabs are there, Mughal emperors are there, Maratha emperors are there, and they are having a conflict with each other to gain the power, to gain the political power in India. By taking advantage of that political instability, and Britishers feels that when they have came over here, when they are using the market and natural resources, they need to pay taxes to the king or to the princes. Understand? So to avoid those taxes, to gain the economic benefit from our country, they took over the country by taking advantage of political instability. I think you all know that particular slogan which we always use when we talk about the Britishers, divide and rule policy. They use divide and rule policy to capture India because they have seen that we are having religious discrimination. We are having a religious different kinds of religion. Versatility was there in India before also, and they have also seen that there was a political instability in India. By taking advantage of these things, they took over India. They captured Indian political system to gain pure economic benefit. Understand? They did not capture India to gain political benefit, to gain political power. They captured India to gain economic benefit which they can get from India by using its natural resources and by using its new market, or labor force is also used. They also use labor force in India at free of cost. Understand? So altogether you can say that the process of production, the cost of production for them decreases automatically. Because they have a free raw materials, they have a free market, and they also have a free labor. Understand? And when there is a war, on that time also they are using Indian, you can say they are using Indian laborers. Okay, Indian people they are using when we talk about the First World War. Okay, First World War and Second World War, they use Indian people as their army, as their fighting power. Okay, and they also used our money to make arms and ammunition. Understand? So because of that benefit, they took over India, and over 150 years they ruled upon India. Okay. Now as they ruled upon India, there are so many things which is not acceptable by us, because first of all, economically they are exploiting us. Economic exploitation means, as now I have told you, in agricultural production, before we are self-sufficient, we are producing our own food grains. But after Britishers took over India, they forced our farmers to produce commercial crops, not food grains, but commercial crops like tobacco and all. Understand? So we are becoming dependent upon other countries or dependent upon Britishers for the food grains. Before we are having a self-sufficiency in food grains. Understand? And slowly they took over the market in India, because of which the handicraft industries or the domestic industries or domestic people, domestic businessmen who are domestic traders who are there in India, they also get the have an adverse effect of that. Because as British traders came to India, they are using the machines, they are giving us a quality product, or handloom or handicraft industries which are there in India, they are producing with their hands. Okay, and quality is good, but the cost is very much high because of the hand production. And machine production, the cost is less, because of which what happens, people try to buy foreign commodities. People try to buy the commodities which is made by Britishers, which is not made by Indian people. Understand? So altogether you can say that our economy or our economic system get damaged because of Britishers. Okay, so because of all these reasons, there are leaders, there are people who feel that freedom or to be free is our birthright, and we should have that birthright. And because of which they have started with the movement, by combining together the whole country, and that is why that movement is called as nationalism in India, because that particular movement is not in one part of India, it is in the whole country, so that we can be free from the clutches of the Britishers. We can be free from the exploitation of the Britishers. We can free our country from the exploitation of Britishers. Understand? That is why this concept or this movement has been started in India, which is called as nationalism in India. Understand? So now when nationalism in India, when we are talking about the nationalism in India, what thing you can say, who is the most affected leader? When we talk about nationalism, who was the most you can say the strong personality or the strong leader? Because of that particular person we got our freedom. There are certain leaders, Mahatma Gandhi, and who else? Bhagat Singh and Subhash Chandra Bose. That means we are having many great leaders who fought for our country, who fought for the freedom of our country. Many leaders are there who also give their life for the freedom, like Bhagat Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose. Understand? And Mahatma Gandhi was a limelight person when we talk about nationalism in India, because one idea of Mahatma Gandhi was inspired many people in India. That was the idea of Satyagraha. Okay, this was the you can say this was the concept, or this was the idea of Mahatma Gandhi, which inspired our freedom fight, which inspired nationalism in India. Now, can anybody over here tell me what is idea of Satyagraha, which Gandhiji has given? What is idea of Satyagraha? Last bench, madam, वापस आइए. Yes, tell me what is idea of Satyagraha.
Idea of Satyagraha is about non-violence.
What?
Non-violence.
Non-violence. What else? Gandhiji is a follower of non-violence. Correct. But what is the idea of Satyagraha? That is one thing which Gandhiji says, that he believes in non-violence. Okay. Gandhiji believes in non-violence. What else? He also believes in truth. Correct. Now, what is idea of Satyagraha? Sit down. Idea of Satyagraha means Gandhiji believes that if we wanted to have something, okay, or if we wanted to gain something, we need to have a peaceful agitation. We need to have a peaceful, you can say peaceful presentation, you can say. That is the idea of Satyagraha. Without using violence, he wanted to get freedom from the Britishers by mutual talks. Okay, and he also wanted people to believe in Satyagraha, which is the path of truth and non-violence. Understand? The idea of Satyagraha means it is a path of truth and non-violence. Gandhiji wants to get a freedom, but see, because of that, on that time when we talk about the freedom struggle, our Indian leaders have divided themselves into two different categories. Okay, because of this particular concept. Because some of our leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, they don't believe in violence, but they believe that till we don't get involved passionately, or till we don't force the Britishers, they will not leave our country. And to forcing them to leave our country, we can do anything what we want. Understand? We can, according to them, they can do anything what they want to make Britishers go from India, to make Britishers leave our country, and for that they took a path of violence, non-violence, everything. Okay, but Gandhiji believes only in non-violence. Gandhiji believes that if any violence is there, that is why there are different movements. You can see over here when we learn about different movements like non-cooperation movement. Okay, Gandhiji stopped non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was a very successful movement when we talk about the nationalism in India. But Gandhiji stopped that movement because of the violence which took place in Jallianwala Bagh. Understand? Because of that particular incident and Chori Chora, where angry people burned the police station. Okay, because of that incident, Gandhiji called off the movement, which is very successful. So Gandhiji follows the path of non-violence, and other leaders are there, follows the path of non-violence, you can say, and they follow the path of anything which they can do to gain the freedom. Okay, so there was an extremist leaders like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, like Bhagat Singh, okay, who wanted to do anything to gain freedom. Okay, and there was a Mahatma Gandhi who was a follower of Satyagraha, and he believes that truth and non-violence is a path where we can find our freedom. Understand? And he was inspired, many people was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. It says that Mahatma Gandhi was a very charismatic personality. What is charismatic personality? Charismatic personality means people believe in him. Okay, people believe in what he says. Whatever Gandhiji says, people believes in that particular sayings. People believes in the words of Gandhiji, statements of Gandhiji. Understand? That was the charismatic personality which he has. That was the effect which he has on the people of India. Understand? So you understand what is nationalism? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Everyone had their breakfast? So just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. So this is all about the nationalism, how the Britishers came to India and how they captured India and how we tried to fight to gain the freedom. Okay, now when we talk about nationalism, see, there are different movements. There are different important movements or important events in this particular period of nationalism, in this particular, you can say, time period of nationalism, which we say that over 150 years we fought for our country, we fought for our freedom. So in that 150 years, first of all, the realization came. Okay? When Britishers came to India, suddenly we don't think about the freedom. Okay, they are ruling upon us and we are accepting their rule. The very first problem which we Indian people have on that time, that we are accepting the rule of England, we are accepting the rule of Britishers. We are accepting them as our ruler. Understand? That is why they ruled upon us. Like, let's take an example. If I don't want to listen to someone, I will not. That particular person can do anything, but I am not going to listen to that particular person. So I will not listen. It's very simple. Or if in my mind, I have accepted that, okay, whatever he or she will say, I will do. So I'll definitely do that. Maybe it is on my wish list, maybe it is against me. Maybe it is in my favor, maybe it is not in my favor. But if I believe something in my mind, I will do that. If I believe that I need to listen to that person, I will listen. If I believe that I will not listen to the person, I will not listen. The same thing happens in India or with Indian people, that they accept, see, what we are going through on that time, we are having a political instability. Half of the people believe that Mughal emperors should be there. Half of the people supported the Maratha emperors. Some people are there who supported Nawabs on that time. Understand? Or many different princely states are there. Not only Indian people, different princely states are also there who wanted to support Britishers because to gain some benefit. Like Nawabs, okay, Nawab like Adil Shah and you can say Nizam Shah. They are the Nawabs on that time, and they to gain, because they don't have enough power in India, because Maratha emperors and Mughal emperors overruled them. That is why they don't have such power. They only have a power in Hyderabad. Okay, and they wanted to have more power. So what Britishers have done, they give, like you can say, as if I wanted to take some work from someone, I can bribe that person, or I can say that person that I will give you this, I will give you that. So that person will do something for me or whatever I want. The same thing happens with the Nawabs also. Okay, or many other princely states. Britishers tell them that if you support us, I will make you king, or you will get the power in India. We can rule upon India in alliance. Okay, like this they have given so many statements to Nawabs and other princely states, because of which they supported Britishers. Okay, and as such, Indian people also accepted the ruling of the Britishers. That is why they ruled upon us. So after some times, when exploitations was there, and there are a group of people who are educated, and as education teaches us, see, Britishers, what they want our labor force. Okay, and to get a labor force, they want a skilled labor force. Okay, and to get that skilled labor force, they introduced Western education in India. Okay, Western education, which we are learning today, is because of the Britishers, because they have introduced the Western education in India. Understand? So when they have introduced Western education in India, they want Indian people to get educated, not because of the benefit of Indian people, but they want that benefit. They will get the skilled labor. Understand? That is why they want Indian people to get education. Or as our people are getting education, self-realization came that we need to be free. Okay, by birth we are free, and if someone is ruling upon us, that is not right. It is a wrong concept, it is a wrong thing, and we need to fight for it. So some educated people, they believe in fighting for our freedom, and those people afterwards becomes the leaders after the self-realization, and they inspired other people also to join them. Okay, as if when we talk about the Gandhiji came to India from South Africa. Okay, Gandhiji was in South Africa for his education. Gandhiji is by professionally, Gandhiji is a lawyer. Okay, so he has completed his study of LLB from South Africa. And when Gandhiji was in South Africa, there was an incident because on that time South Africa is having racial discrimination. Okay, blacks and whites. Okay, South Africa is having a racial discrimination, and there was one incident which happens with Gandhiji on that time. He was on the train. I think you all know that incident. He was on the train, and police officers, they because of the racial discrimination, उन्होंने गांधी जी को बोला that they need to be out from the train, and there was a humiliation with the Gandhi ji. So after that, Gandhi ji feels that they need to they wanted to come back to India because they wanted to fight for the discrimination. Now over here in India also we are having a discrimination. Britishers are ruling upon us. Okay, they are discriminating us. Because as a human being in the whole world, each and every human being is having a right to be free or having a right to be live free. Okay, because of which Gandhiji came to India from South Africa, and after coming to India, they inspired many people. Okay, Gandhiji make one group of leaders. Okay, who are the educated people, and by their words, by their speeches, by their writings, they inspired people to join them in the fighting of freedom. Understand? Understand everyone? So that was the whole scenario of nationalism in India. Okay. Now when we talk about nationalism in India, there are different movements which is started by Gandhiji, and those movements are a pillar of our freedom. Okay, because of those movements, now we got a freedom. Like, can anybody over here tell me which are the important movements which we have in India, because of which we got freedom? Some important movements. Yes, tell me. Civil disobedience movement. What else? Civil disobedience movement. What else? Non-cooperation movement. See, now when we talk about civil disobedience movement, Khilafat movement was also there. Afterwards, this Khilafat movement becomes a part, or it has an alliance with the Gandhiji. Okay, Khan brothers, they are having an alliance with the Gandhiji. Okay, so over here, these are the different movements in which are the pillars of our nationalism, or which are the pillars of what we say that we got a freedom. Okay, now when we talk about all these movements, civil disobedience movement, non-cooperation movement, now civil disobedience movement and non-cooperation movement are the same movement. Okay, but because of the breakdown, one breakdown of, as I have told you about the violence in Jallianwala Bagh, because of that breakdown there was a new movement with a new name, but the concept was same. Okay, non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement, the concept, the idea was same, to boycott the Britishers totally, so that automatically they will leave our country. Okay, so the idea was the same, but the movement has a different names because of the breakdown of the movement. Okay, so now we will see what are these movements. Now, as I have told you, there was a self-realization. Okay, before these movements, as I have told you, there was a self-realization. People realize that they need to be free from Britishers. They want freedom. Okay, now there are different causes because of which Indian people realize that they want freedom. Now what are those causes? Okay, we will see what are those causes because of which Indian people believe that they need freedom and they want freedom. See, as such I have told you, first of all, they forced our agriculture, they forced our farmers to produce commercial crops instead of producing food crops. And our farmers need to pay tax, which is called as land revenue system. Britishers have introduced a land revenue system in India under which farmers need to pay tax to the government, tax to the Britishers. Okay, understand, there was a zamindari system on that time, because of which farmers are getting exploited. They are not getting enough money for them. Okay, and industries as such are affected because of the Britishers, because of the machine invention which they have, because of their traders who came to India. So our Indian traders are also get affected, negatively affected by that particular thing. So economically we are totally, economically you can say Britishers totally broke us. We are having a total breakdown economically, and politically also they captured upon us. They have made many administrative different kinds of laws they have made, like Salt Act. They put a tax on salt. Okay, and different other laws are also there which affected us adversely. And after some times there was a First World War. Okay, First World. Can anybody over here tell me the date or the year? Not the date. In year which the First World War was fought. Yes.
1914 to 1918.
1914 to 1918. First World War.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you want to tell? 1914 to 18. Okay. So 1914 to 18 we have a First World War. Okay. Okay, now this First World War or Second World War. Okay, first we talk about the First World War because this was the phase where Indian people have a self-realization that they need to fight for their freedom. Okay, that was the first phase. After that, when Second World War was there, Britishers become very politically and economically they become weak. Okay, so on that